Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steve and Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from beautiful South Lake Tahoe. We've been here all week.
Today, Jill and I talk about growing your wealth by buying related companies, related to real estate and online sales, potentially. We're going to go through a few companies that we've purchased that worked out great for us, and we're going to go through a few that are no longer in operation for a lot of reasons.
And ones that you've talked about that I've pleasantly reminded you, do we really want to go there?
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landacademy.com online community. It's free.
Ariel asks, I've been looking at listings to get a feel for prices in some California counties. Looking for lower price areas and smaller parcels where an offer of $500 to $1,000 could be 10 to 20% of resale value. I'm finding parcels that meet this are small and way out in Southern California desert areas, which seems like there is a lack of attributes. Can offers as low as $500 to $1,000 work in areas that I see are listed at much higher prices? What's been your highest resale value for an offer this low? Thanks for your help.
This is a great question, Ariel. I mean it. There are a lot of people that come into our group, and for whatever reason, they receive this message from me, and I do the best I can to undo this message. For some reason, they get this. You can buy property anywhere for $500 because people just sign the offers. They just want $500, and they don't really care about their $350,000 infill lot in Hollywood. And that couldn't be further from the truth. It's just not. You're wasting their time. You're wasting your time and money on postage. And no. Can you buy $500 to $1,000 quarter acre lots in California City? Maybe. But do you really want to? You want to buy a $1,000 lot and resell it on the internet for $1,500 constantly? It's a long road to retirement. So does it work? Possibly. Once in a great while, you're going to get somebody who signs it and sends it and everything works, and you do well. But you would do much, much, much better. And I say this truthfully. I used $500 in the example in Chapter 5 in the first Land Academy program. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where this message gets convoluted. That's for practicing. Just do a few deals like that just so you understand the process and make sure it's something that you want to do. Make sure you can handle some of the backlash or the hate that you get from some angry sellers, because it all happens. Everybody needs to be aware of it. Jill doesn't let me talk about it on the show too much.
Oh, it's funny. It's not that big.
But once you're done, the most successful people in our group buy $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 properties and sell them for $120,000.
Or even $1,000 property. Well, let's even like a couple $1,000.
Like $5,000.
Yeah, let's say $3,000, $4,000. Sell it for $12,000. Those are great things that people do all day long. So I guess, I think you're getting a little hung up on some of you don't want to go in too low because you won't get anything good out of it. That's the main thing.
Yeah. You
want to really be accurate for the area. If you have that small budget, then you might be buying some properties that are way out there, but you know what? And so you're going to be marketing to those people that didn't even know that they could buy a property for $1,500 or $2,000. And that's what you're doing. You're learning the process and you're getting more money, by the way. Now you have more money to play with after this exercise is done. Say you started with $10,000. By the time you're all done, now you have $20,000 and you did 10 deals. You know a lot more.
Yeah.
And now with $20,000, you can start making some different decisions. And then you have $40,000, and then you have $80,000, and that's how it goes.
And then you're in.
Right.
So I'm not knocking these tiny little deals. Use them for practice if you need to, but it's really scraping the bottom.
It's true.
People are not. They're just going to get annoyed. I never send out an offer for less than $500 when we're doing rural vacant land, even if the math works out differently. So.
We used
like
to.
I said, yes, yeah, we did.
Back in the day,
I never sent an offer for less than $500. Ever, never.
Oh, okay.
But like I said in the show yesterday, where do you want to spend your time? Right?
True.
Today's topic: grow your wealth by buying related companies. This is the meat of the show. What is it? What do I mean by this? As you may or may not know, there's tons of companies for sale all over the place. Mostly because people are retiring. I mean, you can get, there's if you're like me, guys who sell franchises, like for Little Caesars and stuff, they won't leave me alone. I'm in their database for some reason. So
I know why.
so
you placed yourself there.
The fastest way to grow. This is actually a whole. I spent an hour on this on our live gatherings. The single fastest way to grow your personal wealth is through acquisitions. And guess what? That's what we teach. Acquisitions, buying property with an equity position. Buying it cheaper than it's worth. So you can do the same thing with companies. So what you're not just learning here, how to buy property and run your own company and creating wealth, you're learning how the value of leveraging your time and your money. So the same thing works with companies. Maybe you love the marketing piece of this. We have a member who just loves it. So he's since branched out into selling other stuff online. Mm-hmm. And he's a great marketer, and he does very, very well. Maybe you love the survey process, or you love actually going to visit the property. Now you can start a photography business or a survey company.
I was going to say that drone footage.
Drone footage is good. There's maybe you bought into the whole thing, and you got a piece of property and you moved out there. And you want to blade in roads for everybody else who buys your property. You're going to upsell everybody who buys property from you by blading in a road for them.
What about one of our members, who I think is brilliant, who mirrored her husband's business, which is fixing up Airstreams and making them gorgeous, and she's learning how to buy property really, really well. So imagine this: she buys a property, they put Airstreams on them, and they rent them out like it's a motel. It's an Airbnb situation. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing to do, a natural progression, and talk about killing it. I mean, that's the greatest thing. Give us some examples, please, Stephen, of things that we shouldn't be looking at.
Well, and I talk about this in our live event. Here's some things that I veto it immediately. If you have to walk through the door, if your customer has to walk physically through a door, then that's not a company for me. A restaurant, a bar, a boutique shop, all that, it's not worth it. Mm-hmm. If you have to buy actual stuff, it comes in a box.
Inventory.
Yeah. And you can't very easily immediately sell it for 2 to 4 times what in a retail shop, in a gift shop, that person, whatever you're buying, it has to be marked up 4 times for them to make any money. Maybe you want to be a landlord. You love that. You bought a bunch of properties and you sold it on terms, and it works out great. So you want to buy an apartment building. That's perfect. Guess what? You learned how to buy cheap real estate. You can buy apartments.
That's very true.
Maybe you're an interior decorator. You love design work and stuff. Team up with somebody else in the group who buys real cheap houses and clean them up in your area.
I think the point of what you're trying to say here, correct me if I'm wrong, is use what you learned.
Yeah.
Use what you know. Don't, if you really have a brain desire to start on a whole different career path, more power to you, but you be smart to just expand on what you know and what you've learned, and you do so well. This is your real estate investment career week. This is your career. Make your career grow, your business grow by only investing in businesses and things that will further your business.
That's correct. So what you're learning here is not just to buy property, undervalued property. You're learning how to buy undervalued companies, let's say.
Right.
You're learning about, last week we had Justin Sliva on our show, on the webinar for a group. And he and I had a good laugh because every single thing he does, he turns into a company. He's buying these classic cars. Now that's a side company.
Love it.
He's buying them cheap and reselling them. Beautiful. Specifically one specific type of old Ford. Mm-hmm. So
starts with a C.
Yeah, it does. So it's truly amazing opportunities are out there.
Yeah.
Truly amazing. There's a lot of examples of what I don't even touch. I don't even get involved in.
Would you recommend buying an existing company over starting your own?
If you go to business school and you have a good instructor, the first thing they say is never do a startup. Almost never do a startup. Yeah. Can you believe that?
Oh my God.
They say buy an existing company. Here's an example. Here's the best way you can leverage your time and money. You are a great Facebook marketer, let's say. Let's say you even have a Facebook marketing company. And you buy a company that in Ohio, let's say, manufactures pocket knives. And it's a specialty pocket knife, and it's got a great revenue stream. And the only people you sell these knives to are Smith & Wesson, for example. Well, you can take a company like that that's already profitable and start selling and use your knowledge about Facebook marketing. And the current owner doesn't even like Facebook. He doesn't even have a Facebook account because he's 82. You can triple the revenue overnight for that company because of the stuff that you learned here. Or because you're bringing something to the table that this person never. So that is a perfect ideal situation. Maybe it's software. Maybe you buy a small manufacturing company, like an auto parts supplier, and the guy's so old and so crotchety that he does nothing's online. There's no computer system. He just walks around the shop yelling at everybody all day. And the thing's profitable already. Right. So you walk in, you're a young person who understands software and why they can benefit and automation and everything. You spend a few $100,000, now you got yourself a multi-bajillion-dollar company with a bit different customer base and all that. That's the kind of stuff we actually talk about in these live events, because especially the intermediate one, because everybody's kind of decided that this is their career now, and they're always looking for new revenue streams. Here's another one. You're really good at buying land. Why wouldn't you just start buying and selling houses then too? It's such a logical progression.
Who knew? Wow.
That's what
we
House
might be
Academy
going
is.
that way. Oh.
That's why we started houseacademy.com, because people kept asking us. So you can dramatically grow your wealth by buying or starting these related companies.
Right.
But from what you learn here about buying undervalued property.
It's so true. I tell people that all the time. Even in our core initial program, you have all the answers. You have all the data. It's all right there. It has to be tweaked. There are little variations, whether you're seeking out an apartment building, single family home, residence, whatever you're looking for. But all the core stuff, you have it. Sending out offers, using data to do the heavy lifting, all this other stuff that we show you how to do, you can do it.
What's that kids movie about the panda? Jack Black's the voice.
Kung Fu.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda.
Yes.
If you've never seen this, you have kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The whole premise of that story is that he's a very unlikely, overweight panda who's never he gets out of breath walking upstairs. He ends up being the leader of this kung fu / group to then go save the world, and it was all in his soul in the first place. He just needed some education and needed to hang out with the right people to make him into what he was, or help him to educate him to help himself to get where he needed to be, or get where he really truly belonged.
Exactly.
And that's what this is. I don't want to get all philosophical here, but we talk a lot about this stuff at these live events.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, you've done it again. You spent another 15 minutes listening to the Land Academy Show. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode,
where we discuss to be continued, and we answer your questions posted on landacademy.com.
We haven't written the next title yet. That's why.
We haven't. We will. It's going to be good, I promise.
But it threw Jill for a loop. Finally, one time.
You did.
Finally. It's not me who doesn't know how to read the script.
All right. I'm going to end this. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel it's made my day.
How funny is that? We're so on vacation mode. We haven't even thought about next week. That's okay.
Let's go water skiing.
I think that's a great idea. I would love that. Share the fun by subscribing on iTunes or wherever you are listening, hopefully on water skis. And while you're at it, rate us there.
We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.